I used to come down this area with my mum when I was younger. This area now is literally just a complete Muslim area.
This is Tommy Robinson, leader of the English Defence League.
It's got 19 mosques all within a stone's throw and plans for another 6. If I tried to walk from one end to the other, I wouldn't get out because they get on their phones so quickly. They're Saif al-Islam, that one there. He's the leader. Yeah. What?
What do you stand for? Go on, tell me.
What do you mean, what do I stand for? What do you stand for?
Saif al-Islam leads a group of radical Muslims.
How's it racist to oppose a fascist ideology?
Fascist ideology?
It is fascist.
What do you? You're racist.
How am I racist?
You hate Asians,
what
yeah?
race are Asians? Yeah. What race are Muslims?
Where are you running away from?
Oh, because I know what you like, brother. You have about 100 you in a minute. You f***ing little chief. Prick. You see? That is Islam.
This is a story of how a local and dangerous feud between 2 angry young men in one provincial town came to be played out on a national stage.
Let's be the people that invaded the banner of Sharia.
Shot over the last year with unique access to both sides, this film reveals an alarming portrait of street-level protest and anger in Britain today. Luton, just over 30 miles from London with a population of more than 200,000, almost 15% are Muslim. That's 5 times the national average. 2 years ago, something happened in this town that drew worldwide attention. Returning from Iraq, the 2nd Royal Anglian Regiment staged a homecoming parade. Among those there to greet them were a group of local Muslims protesting against civilian casualties. They were led by Saif al-Islam. Saif was born Ishtiaq Alamgir. Married with 5 children, his family originally came from Pakistan. His father worked for British Rail. He studied accountancy at the local university. And before preaching a militant brand of Islam, he was a tax inspector.
You guys burn poppies and you protest against troops and all sorts of stuff like that.
To be honest, it's not we like making mischief. It's the thing is we want to shake the people and wake them up from their slumber. These British soldiers, they're not heroes. They are the ones that have blood on their hands. The real heroes are those people that don't have no homes, that are being raped, that are being violated, that are being tortured. They're the ones that are suffering at the crimes of the Western soldiers.
Also there that day was another local lad, Tommy Robinson. He would go on to found the most virulently anti-Islamic organisation in Britain.
Put it on them, the Nazis and the Millennium Race.
Tommy Robinson isn't his real name either. It's Stephen Lennon. Married with 3 children, he adopted the name of a notorious Luton town football hooligan. He manages a local tanning salon and served time for assaulting an off-duty policeman during a domestic dispute. The homecoming parade wasn't the first time Tommy had come across Saif and his followers.
I know all of them. We know them personally. I went to school with some of them. I used to hang around with one of them. It wasn't the fact that they'd done it. It was the fact that they were allowed to do it. Saw them spitting. One soldier's mum, she was actually on the front page of our Dunstable paper. They spat in her face and that.
A month after the parade, Tommy led a protest of his own. With 200 others, mostly Luton Town football supporters, Tommy demanded the banning of Saif and his group from the town centre.
So, shoes off, police putting their hands in our pockets, cameras in our faces. I watched the Muslim protests against our soldiers. They didn't even ask them their names and addresses. They didn't stop and search them. They didn't stop and search their women. And all we were doing, we were getting to the town hall to support our troops.
Tommy spent £400 hiring a cameraman to film the event and got his first taste of the limelight.
No one else.
They come and arrest us. They give us banning orders from Luton Town Centre 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If they'd have let us get to the War Memorial on that first day, there would be no EDL.
Following that protest, Luton saw a summer of tension, during which 2 hooded men attacked a local mosque.
They ran down this alleyway here and they threw firebombs into the building after breaking a window, but they added some accelerant into it, so it really created such a huge bang explosion.
Moderate Imam Kadir Baksh opposes Saiful's extremism, but thinks Tommy's public pronouncements are dangerous.
He started out, as he said to me, he started out just addressing Muslim extremism. Had he stayed upon that, no one would say anything to him. He'd be very similar to what we're doing, attacking just the extremist Muslims. But he just went far, far from that objective now, and he started attacking Islam as a religion. He's created a monster which he can't control.
2 years on, Tommy has led the English Defence League to become the biggest far-right protest movement Britain has seen for a generation. It claims 100,000 supporters opposed to what it calls the creeping Islamisation of their communities. They have staged dozens of demonstrations across the country in cities with large Muslim populations. Many have turned violent. But Tommy's still not achieved his initial aim, to get Saiful Islam and his radical followers banned from Luton town centre.
We don't care what labels they give us. If they want to call us extremists or terrorists, we don't care.
Saiful grew up in Bury Park, the largely Muslim part of Luton. Today he leads a small, tight-knit group of supporters.
This is your honor. This is not the honor of just one group or one mosque, but this is the honor of Islam and Muslims.
He is a disciple of the exiled radical sheikh Omar Bakri, who founded the Islamist group Al-Muhajirun. It was outlawed for glorifying terrorism.
We are against their policy, their crusade against Islam and Muslims. My dear Muslims, let's wake up. Let's raise the call of Islam. Let's be the people that are in Luton, that are raising the banner of Islam, that is raising the banner of Sharia. Takbir!
Saiful's followers are banned from most local mosques, so they preach in the streets. But most Muslims here want to distance themselves from Islamic extremism and Luton's associations with terrorism. One of the fertilizer bomb plotters and the Stockholm suicide bomber both lived and went to mosques in the town.
As Lutonians, this is our town. Every time you hear our town's name, it's to do with the lunatic ideology of parts of Islam. And that's it. That's all we ever hear is terrorist this, terrorist that. Nothing good, ever.
I've never been charged with terrorism. I've never been arrested for terrorism. I've not even been arrested for public disorder. I've never been charged with any crime.
Saiful's jihad is a war of words. He wants to replace democracy with Sharia, Islamic law governing every aspect of our lives.
The Sharia will prevent drug problem. And we can see in Luton there's a massive drug problem. How many families have been affected by drugs? And we'll prevent that. We see prostitution taking place. We'll prevent that. We see gambling taking place. We'll prevent that. And of course, we'll prevent homosexuality from being promoted out on the streets.
Now ask yourself, anybody that calls to La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, that wants to follow the Quran, that wants to call for the Sharia.
You see a society full of sexual deviancies, full of corruption, full of evil, full of every sin that every prophet came to forbid and condemn. And it'll all end when the Islamic State comes.
Muslims stand up!
Muslims stand up!
Muslims stand up!
Muslims speak up!
They're breeding at 10 times faster than us. In the next 20 years, what is it going to be like? If this is happening now, when I find it hard to keep a straight face, when 3% of this country is Muslim. Look how much chaos they're causing. 3%. God help us if it gets to 20%. God help us.
Muslims rise up!
Muslims rise up!
Muslims rise up!
Luton's like a blueprint for what's going to happen in every single city. With the breakdown and the complete clash of cultures. I'm offended when I see a woman in a burqa. I'm offended. I'm offended by homophobia. I'm offended by anti-Semitism. We're offended when you spit in our troops' faces. We're offended when we see undercover documentaries in your mosques and you're promoting hatred against us and calling us filthy swine animals. Your leaders of your mosques are saying it. We're offended when we see what you're teaching in your madrasa schools. We're offended on a daily basis.
With the rhetoric on both sides growing ever more extreme, the local council assembles a committee to promote cohesion in the town. The chair understands how Tommy's misguided belief that Muslims are pandered to in Luton can be attractive to some.
We're in a time of recession. We know that in times of recession, those sorts of ideas, scapegoating, racism, can increase. I think it was a case of time and place, and somebody was there to raise those arguments. I do not think it's anything about the Luton water or the Luton people. I think it just happened, and it struck a chord. And that is not to be denied or to be ignored. But I don't think it is because of something to do with this town.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
With the town gaining a reputation for extremism, a campaign was launched. Today is its first birthday.
People from all backgrounds, all races, all colours can come down outside the town hall, enjoy themselves, no trouble, and really, really have a good time.
Luton in Harmony is not a political campaign. It is a media, if you like, a branding campaign and a concept. But our intention is to undermine those hateful messages and to promote the unity that we know exists in our town.
The Hindus, the Jews, the Sikhs, the gay community, everyone's in harmony, apart from the Islamic community. That's it.
It's not in harmony until obviously Islam is established in it. Because even like obviously if you want to talk about Luton, there still is racism, there still is discrimination. If you want to say Luton is in harmony, then why was the EDL born here? Like we can see, it doesn't work in multiculturalism. When you try mixing certain cultures and certain faiths together, it just doesn't work at all, innit?
I just think, oh boys, you know, actually it's like a peeing contest, isn't it? Just go away, just let people get on with their lives and do what they need to do. And that doesn't mean that we're just going to turn away and pretend you don't exist, but it's very tedious sometimes.
But they weren't going away. Just a week after Luton in Harmony's first birthday, and 2 years after Saiful disrupted the soldiers' homecoming, Tommy's preparing the EDL's biggest protest yet, in the place of its birth.
Bedfordshire police say they're planning the largest operation in their history to deal with a protest organised by the English Defence League in Luton. Unite Against Fascism are planning to hold a counter-demonstration. Around 6,000 protesters are expected, and at least 1,500 police will be drafted in to deal with them.
Luton was bracing itself for violence.
Coming back to Luton, back to where it all began. It's going to be our biggest demonstration yet, and the council will have to listen to us this time.
On the morning of the EDL's homecoming demonstration, Prime Minister David Cameron makes a speech at an international security conference in Munich.
Multiculturalism has failed in the UK, David Cameron said today in a speech tackling the threat of terrorism. The Prime Minister called for a stronger national identity, what he called muscular liberal defence of British values, to prevent people turning to extremism.
David Cameron is wrong. Multiculturalism has worked. It hasn't failed. My goddaughter's black, my niece is black, yeah? We live side by side, brothers and sisters. It hasn't failed. What's he on about? He doesn't know what he's talking about. Religion's failed.
Tommy Robinson likes to give the impression that his isn't a racist organisation, but one that embraces ethnic diversity. But the EDL is challenged everywhere it goes by United Against Fascism counter-demonstrations. Luton is in lockdown. 27 forces have sent officers to protect Luton's Muslim community and to segregate the various protesting factions. And with good reason. Supporters' comments on the EDL's Facebook page, its main organising hub, often portray the racism Tommy would rather hide.
We apologise to the residents of Luton for the cost of this demonstration. No shops need to board themselves up from the English Defence League. This is scaremongering tactics by our council. No one has nothing to fear from the English Defence League. Stop building mosques in our community. We've had enough of it. God bless our troops. God bless every single one of you. Every single one of you are on the forefront of the fight against militant Islam. We are writing our names in history.
The police operation was a success, but it had cost around £800,000. There were just 8 arrests.
Come and find out what it's like to live under an Islamic State, under the law of the Sharia, under Islam, the fastest growing religion, has all the solutions to man-made problems of today. Why is there so many people dying of hunger?
Saiful may have ambitions to change Britain, but he's beginning on the streets of Luton's Bury Park.
Yeah, take a free leaflet. We believe in Jesus, Moses, Abraham, Noah, and the final messenger, the Prophet Muhammad. I want the whole of UK to be under Sharia. And you know, look, one thing you gotta understand, when I'm calling for Sharia, I'm not calling to people be suppressed or anything like this. No, this is not the aim of why we want Sharia. I want Sharia because I want the whole of society to benefit.
I remember Saiful Islam when he was a kid. He used to live a few doors away from me, and he wasn't practicing at all. He's not studied with any scholars. He doesn't know Arabic language. He's not studied the Quran. You know, he's been asked to produce his credentials to be able to stand there and give fatwa and teach, and nothing's come from him. So I think he knows his status, his level. He's misguiding others and misguiding himself.
Tommy used to go to Bury Park when Luton Town were playing at home, and before a 3-year ban for football hooliganism. He rarely goes there now.
Tommy Robinson, he needs bodyguards and protection and a stab-proof vest. Yeah, a stab-proof vest. I go there with my 7-year-old son. That's my protection. So obviously, the reality is, come on, who is really scared? Yeah? I mean, if Tommy Robinson was to walk through Bury Park, he obviously have problems and obviously face issues. I walk through the town centre all the time and I never face issues.
Our football stadium's there, about 10, 15 of us. We're walking down, we're making loads of noise, just having a bit of banter together, yeah? And this car's pulled up, these Muslims go out, just keep the fucking noise down in our area, yeah? So what do you want? So keep the fucking noise down and show some respect. So in your fucking area. So we started arguing, before you know it, mate, I swear to God, like this, yeah? If you're in a nightclub and it kicks off with Pakistani lads, whites and blacks go this way, Pakistanis go this way. That's it. That's your standard. Integration is when other cultures, I believe, intermix, not just as friends, but as family, have babies. Tell me how many Muslims you know that allow their kids to go with non-Muslims, unless they convert. None of them will. That's not integration. There will be no integration. I think Luton's broke. I think there's so many towns they can probably try and stop it now. Stop the rot, stop the Islamisation of them if they tackle it now. I don't know if there's any coming back from Luton. There will be more terrorists from this town. There will be more violence from this town.
If I'm focused on changing the government, so who are the EDL then? Do you understand? If I'm looking to take over the whole world and implement Islam, I'm sorry, I forgot who are the EDL.
For the last few years, Tommy's been helping to organise an alternative St George's Day celebration at the EDL's favourite pub.
In 2004, I joined the British National Party, in 2004. Now, when you're drowning, you clutch at straws. And Luton's been drowning for many years. I went along to the meeting, loads of us went along actually, and when we got there, they said, he can't come in, he can't come in, he can't come in. The black lads couldn't come in to the meeting. Now this was an absolute shock, yeah? I was only a member for 1 year in 2004. So it shows that I joined the BNP, I sat, I watched, I listened, I thought that ain't for me. I never rejoined.
A national tragedy for Norway.
Andres Breivik appears to have a history of far-right...
A shooting spree by a Norwegian right-winger gets Tommy publicity for all the wrong reasons.
Breivik's apparent claims that he'd had discussions with them.
Have you ever met Anders Behring Breivik? Why should we believe you when you say that?
I had never personally met this man. I've never had no interaction with him, never had any dealings with him. There's a lot of speculation going around the media at the minute, and I think they should stick to the facts. The facts are that in his manifesto, on page 1438 of his document, he says the EDL are in fact anti-racist, anti-fascist and anti-Nazi.
Breivik he's changed his mind.
He's changed his mind once he's seen what we're about.
But he has supported your organisation in the past, hasn't he?
We share a part of an ideology that we believe that Islam is a serious threat to Europe.
Let's not talk about your ideology, because we've heard about it many a time here on Breakfast. You preach intolerance. Yet you don't want to take responsibility for the effect of the rhetoric on other people. That's the definition of power without responsibility. What you do is you light the touch paper, you put them out there, these extreme far-right views.
Which extreme far-right views is that? We've promoted integration, we've promoted non-English members, because that's what makes up England. When I see England, I'm from Luton, I see black, I see white, I see brown. That is why what makes up the English Defence League.
Are you on TV tonight? Yeah, I'm on Newsnight as well tonight. I'm in London, BBC, with that Jeremy Paxman show.
According to your website, which features people in the crosshairs of telescopic sights, you'd shoot them if that doesn't take place,
I don't understand what it means.
Your literature includes pictures of prominent Muslims with whom you disagree, you would say Islamic fundamentalists,
and Jim
in the crosshairs
That's not our website, that's on Facebook. If we keep reverting back to Facebook, where anyone can go under any name and put anything, that is no evidence against our organisation anyway. You will not find them sort of things on our website, on our .org website. People will check our organisation out. We stand against it. It's like being a celebrity but without the good bits. You're going to be in charge of 100,000 people. You've got to keep them all happy. You're going to get regular death threats. People don't want to kill you. You're going to get attacked in the street. Your missus is going to cry every other night about it. Your family's going to be dragged down. You're going to get the police harassing you and giving you the hardest time ever, trying to destroy your life, trying to take everything you've got, and you don't get paid. Anyone want it?
Muslim sister being arrested in Luton, being strip searched in her own house by the police.
Don't allow them to put their filthy hands on the Muslim woman.
Back in Luton, the police have just arrested a Muslim woman who they believe had connections with the Stockholm suicide bomber, whose widow also lives in the town.
How they must have humiliated her. They searched the sister. They undressed her, degrading her honor. They took away her clothes, her money.
When you're sleeping in bed with your own wife, when your children are sleeping, that is when the police come to your houses.
Saiful uses the arrest to try and mobilise the people of Bury Park.
But this is the honor of Islam and Muslims. Where are the Muslims? There's supposed to be 40,000 Muslims here in Luton. But where are they?
British class anybody that wants to follow Sharia as an extremist, and that is nearly every single Muslim. Obviously, maybe they're not as vocal as myself, but every Muslim believes in those points. So are you now saying that the British government is at war with Islam and Muslims?
Tommy has organised roughly 40 demonstrations around the country. He's been targeting towns with large Muslim communities. Today, his Luton division are heading north to Blackburn.
We're coming, we're coming, we're coming down the road. Brilliant victim of the EDM, and we're coming.
The EDL is riven with internal factions, and Tommy has to constantly reassert his authority. A group of dissenters from the northeast have links with the racist neo-Nazi National Front. Yesterday, they accused Tommy of being a police informant. Today, he's decided to deal with them.
The people who seek to destroy us are people within us. We have people starting rumours, starting lies.
But first, he introduces an Asian member.
Gurmeet Singh is a Sikh legend who was black with race values ever.
Supporters near the stage start to barrack the dissenters.
This man is as English as me. He's as British as me. He is what the English Defence League stands for.
When Tommy tries to publicly have them removed, a fight breaks out. During the fracas, Tommy leaves the stage and headbutts a rival. He was later arrested and charged with assault.
We had a clear out today which needed to happen. If people don't like seeing Sikhs, they're at the wrong demonstration. We're proud to be British regardless of colour. That's what makes us, that's our strength. We're not National Front, we're not the BNP, we'll never allow ourselves to be it. And there was a group within the English Defence League who wanted that. And the only way to deal with these scum is to physically have it.
The EDL can't physically have it with militant Muslims. The police have become extremely adept at keeping them apart, most of the time. It's the 10th anniversary of 9/11. Saiful has helped organise a demo at the American Embassy in Grosvenor Square in London, where dignitaries are paying their respects.
Obama, terrorist!
To get round government bans on their organisations, the radicals often change the name. In their past they've been Al-Mahajirun, now they're called Muslims Against Crusades. The rhetoric, though, remains the same.
You have come here today to remember one day, 9/11. I want to tell you why we the Muslims, we don't care about your dead. You talk about 9/11, where 3,000 people, they died. But what about the over 1 million Muslims that have been killed in Iraq, that makes 9/11? You are the ones that are the terrorists. You go around killing Muslims and then you want us to feel sorry for your dead. We don't feel sorry for your dead. 9/11 was the beginning of the end of America and democracy. You thought you saw jihad on 9/11, on 7/7, but we, the Muslim nation, we will show you jihad. We love death the way that you love life. We want to die because we want to meet our Lord. Islam is the way forward. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! La ilaha illallah!
Muslims Against Crusades have become hemmed in by the EDL. Fearing violence, the police agreed to escort Saiful and his followers to the safety of the Regent's Park Mosque.
You're pushing us forward. You're pushing us forward.
As Saiful condemns America, Tommy's thoughts are closer to home. He's planning his most controversial anti-Islamic confrontation yet, taking the EDL into the heartland of Muslim Britain. Tommy's next target is the London borough of Tower Hamlets, where almost half the population are Muslim, the largest concentration in the UK. But first, he has to whip up support with a few scare stories.
Tower Hamlets, a Muslim man sparked up a cigarette during Ramadan and straight away he was attacked in the street by other Muslims. That's Sharia law. You've got Muslims going into shops telling women, you cover your hair or we will murder you. That's Sharia law. And it's happening already. And that's why we're going into Tower Hamlets. We go where we want, when we want.
In Tommy's understanding, Sharia law is chopping off the hands, chopping off the legs, different hands, and, you know, lashing the men and the women and whatnot. That's what he terms as Sharia law. Sharia law is marriage. Sharia law is praying. Sharia law is giving charity. Sharia law is being kind to your neighbours, being a Muslim or non-Muslims.
Many EDL supporters are reluctant to go to Tower Hamlets, fearing they'll be met with force. But it's also becoming apparent that some others are growing tired of endless demos. They're beginning to demand a more physical response.
When and where are you going to really start fucking fighting back? There was more support from the EDL years ago, talking Stoke and Nottingham. Yeah. It seems to be fading off a bit now.
But aren't some of the guys that are going to come to Tower Hamlets obviously racist?
I know people from every town, city and every division. They're not racist. They're angry. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're angry, misguided, uneducated sometimes, but not racist.
The government has banned a planned march by the English Defence League next week. It was due to pass through Tower Hamlets. The Home Secretary, Theresa May, has banned all marches for 30 days after pressure from the Metropolitan Police. The force was concerned about violence and disorder, but the EDL have told BBC London they plan to turn up anyway.
All right, folks, thanks very much for showing up. It's appreciated. As you know, this is the last meeting before Tower Hamlets, like, you know, the big one.
The entire world is watching this Saturday, okay? So we've got to come out of this as the good guys, because we all know we are the good guys. And history will judge every one of us as the good guys. And this Saturday, you'll see the fearless representatives of the English Defence League going straight into the lion's den. We can't let those frustrations, those angers that are simmering, boil over on the day of the Metropolitan Police Force.
Are you a thug? You've been in prison.
Am I a
You've been arrested.
I'm not a thug, man. Don't get me, as I said, I don't claim to sit here polishing my halo. I haven't been an angel. I've gone out, I've got in scrapes for years growing up. But I'm not a thug, I'm a decent person.
Oh yeah, what did you do? What did I do? Oh, my head.
Allahu Akbar.
1,000 hardline EDL members are expected to descend on Tower Hamlets today. Following his arrest for headbutting a man in Blackburn, Tommy isn't supposed to be one of them.
My fingers come up your nose.
Right, Tower Hamlets. My bail restrictions ban me from going. I'm not allowed to travel to any demonstration, but obviously I want to go to the demonstration. So,
what time's the actual...
2. 2 o'clock. We leave at 2.
Although banned from marching, the police can't stop EDL supporters walking to the location for a static demonstration.
David Cameron, I hereby challenge you to a fight. Toe to toe, man to man.
The EDL were outnumbered by anti-fascist demonstrators and local people who turned out in defiance.
They're going to say that the Islam must to be heart of extremism. Muslims are part of the society. We are not going anywhere.
I'm going to make it impossible for them not to send me to jail. Because with what I'm going to say, they're going to have to send me to jail. I thought I was just going to go out as a rabbi every Saturday night. Every Saturday night, and we're on the dance floor, and not in a local nightclub. Come on! I've had so many phone calls saying, you're fucking dead if you come to Tower Hamlets. Hello? I'm in Tower Hamlets dressed as a rabbi, you
3,000 policemen were drafted in to keep the EDL and counter-demonstrators a few hundred yards apart.
To suppress this voice. I am currently banned from attending any demonstration. I will be put on remand in prison for my democratic right. That's what's going to happen. We will not allow our democratic rights to be eroded.
And then Tommy directly threatens Britain's entire Islamic community.
We are here today to tell you quite loud, quite clear, on 7/7 you got away with killing and maiming British citizens. You got away with it. Next time you think about it, you better understand that we have built a network from one end of this country to the other end. We will not tolerate it, and the Islamic community will feel the full force of the English Defence League if we see any of our citizens killed, maimed or hurt on British soil ever again.
At that point, the police move in for an arrest, but they have difficulty getting to the stage.
I got away, yeah. I'm eating a parrot, yeah, so.
Run it to save.
Let's go on the bus. Bus there. They're going to be thinking, how the fuck has he got out of it? Innit? The old Bill.
Of course, mate.
What a great crack. The fucking old Bill tried to rush the stage and they still haven't fucking nicked us. We were on a double-decker bus driving past all the police. Look, there's old Bill here left either side. I'll get nicked.
Tommy's mobile number has been posted on Facebook.
What a fucking
He's getting death threats.
Some Muslims again, yeah?
Tommy speaking.
You what, mate? Come round your sides? Climb back on your sister, you wrong'un. You what? You got petrol bombs ready for me, have you? I'm in Tower Hamlets, donut. I'm outside the East London Mosque in Mug.
You are not by the East London Mosque.
I am. I'm the smelly fucker sitting down praying.
76% of you shag your cousin. Your mum's got hairy lips.
We came and we conquered. We managed to evade the entire Metropolitan Police Force on a double-decker bus for £2.20.
Hello? Yeah?
But the police have also got Tommy's number.
Scotland rang me a minute ago and said, he hand yourself in or we're going to raid your house. I don't want them to raid my house. And then just got missing kids at home. Hello? You are Rich? You have to go down to Charing Cross Police Station. And what will happen? I've just waited for my solicitor to bring me back because my solicitor says he's not around. All right. Catch me if you can.
After finally giving himself up, Tommy is remanded in custody for 8 days for breaking his bail conditions.
Today, the Home Secretary banned Muslims Against Crusades. As of midnight tonight, it will be illegal to be a member of the extremist group or operate in its name.
From today, anyone who joins the group could face up to 10 years in prison.
Even if we're banned or if we're arrested or this ain't gonna stop us from practicing Islam. Because we never asked permission from the British government in the first place. So they can ban us, they can introduce new laws, they can imprison, they can do whatever they like. But as Muslims, we're still going to continue, and we'll continue until we see Islam dominant.
3 months after the September the 11th protest, many of the militants from Luton returned to the American embassy, but no longer under the banner of Muslims Against Crusades. Saif al-Islam decides to stay away.
There's always been two camps. Since the time Allah SWT created Adam, there's been the two camps, the camp of the believers and the camp of the disbelievers. They believe that they have a free hand to murder any Muslim on earth, to walk into any country with a drone and drop a bomb on any house and kill anybody, and they didn't know we were going to say a word. Don't speak against America. You have to love America. You have to hate Muslims. That's what they want to tell us.
In the middle of the peaceful demonstration, the police, who again outnumbered the protesters, move in.
There's no one worthy but Allah! Muhammad is this messenger!
Stay back! Stay back! You need to hold me. Stay back!
You call it democracy! What crime did he commit? What crime did he commit? Calm down. What crime did he commit? Calm down. When you arresting Muslims, calm down. You should be ashamed of yourself. All of you should be ashamed of yourself. We're not hurting him, but you are. You should. Okay, brothers.
25 of the protesters are arrested on suspicion of being members of a banned organisation.
Police have nothing better to do than arrest innocent Muslims.
Under this British law, that is illegal because you're innocent until proven Muslims. So when they say you're a member of prescribed any group, what they mean is you're Muslim because you're innocent until proven Muslim. Yeah? That is what they mean. Innocent until proven Muslim. Not a member of no group. A member of Islam and Muslim.
Over the last 12 months, Tommy and Saif have taken their message far beyond the streets of Luton and have revelled in their national notoriety. But their supporters plateaued, locally and elsewhere. The government has begun to crack down, limiting their activities and impact. But both men have a warning.
When they ban people like myself and our organizations that we have, you're minimizing the response that us Muslims can have. And Muslims are going to feel more and more that they don't have no other options except for to carry out these extreme actions.
When people are fed up, when people are angry, they need some way of channeling that anger and frustration. We're trying to give them that way. We're trying to harness the anger, give them a platform, say, you're angry, you're pissed off, come to our demonstration, you can have your voice heard. Do you know what I mean? You take that right away, I think you see things getting blown up.
How's it racist to oppose a fascist ideology?
Fascist ideology?
Yes, what you?
What do you stand for? Come on, tell me.
What do you mean, what do I stand for? What do you stand for? How's it racist?
Next week, meet the people who've seen it all. First-hand stories from those behind the wheel, out on a limo next Monday at 10. This Thursday, a segregated city coming together. Could you pass the UK citizenship test? Make Bradford British at 9. Next tonight, back from the war, but how's Brodie coping? Homeland, coming up.